Good afternoon, friends. Last few classes we discussed some of the electrical drives like DC motors. In DC motors, we saw brushless DC motors. We saw brushed DC motor, the principle of operation, their advantages and limitations. And thereafter, we studied some of the AC motors like synchronous motors, induction motors, the principle of operation, their areas of application, so on and so forth. Today we shall discuss stepper motors in particular. Stepper motor, as you know, is a device that produces rotation through equal angles, the so-called steps. So the rotation, the angular positional change, is in the steps for each digital pulse supplied to its input. And that's why it is called as the stepper motor, because it is receiving the stepped input in the form of number of pulses. The major benefit of using stepper motors is I can have precise small angular positional changes, right? And this is particularly useful in most of the servo mechanisms, robos, wherein I just don't want to have rotations as such, but I want to have the angular positional change, precise angular positional change. There, these stepper motors find big applications. Thus, for example, if with such a motor, one pulse, that is, I'm giving the digital input to my stepper motors now. Thus, for example, if with such a motor, one pulse produces a rotation of 6 degrees, then 60 pulses will produce a rotation of 360, right? 6 degree with one pulse, so into 60 pulses gives me 360 degrees. So in one rotation, I'll be having 360 degrees. So if I give 60 pulses, I can cover the entire 360 degree angular positions, right? These provide me positional accuracy plus positional repeatability as well. So all these stepper motors provide me high accuracy and high precision in angular positioning. There are a few types of stepper motors, those will be trying to understand. That is variable reluctance type stepper motor. Second type is permanent magnet type stepper motor. Third type is hybrid stepper motor. So the features of both variable reluctance and permanent magnet, both are included in this hybrid stepper motor. So let us see the first type, that is variable reluctance stepper motor. As you can see in the sketch, I have a stator and I have a rotor. So I have a pair of poles energized by current being switched to them, so that the rotor rotates to next position, right? So I have the pairs of poles, North Pole and South Pole, on the stator. One pair of poles, second pair of poles, and third pair of poles, right? And have a rotor. So I provide the pulsed input to this pair of poles so that I can get the required angular positional change. With this form, the rotor is made of a soft steel and is cylindrical with 4 poles, right? That is fewer poles than on the stator. So the rotor also has 4 poles. Stator has got more number of poles. When an opposite pair of windings has current switched to them, a magnetic field is produced with lines of force which pass from the stator poles through the nearest set of poles on the rotor. Right? A magnetic field is set up between this pair of poles or this pair of poles, and the stator pairs of poles will be intercepting this magnetic field set up by this pair of poles. Since lines of force can be considered to be rather like elastic thread, and always trying to shorten themselves, the rotor will move until the rotor and the stator poles line up, right? This is termed as position of minimum reluctance, right? This rotor will keep on rotating because of the magnetic field till such time that the minimum reluctance position is attained, right? So this form of stepper motor generally gives step angles of 7.5 degrees or 15 degrees, right? This is the resolution, minimum angular positional change that is possible through my variable reluctance stepper motor. Now the second type is permanent magnet stepper motor, right? This is the sketch of the permanent magnet stepper motor. Permanent magnet two-phase stepper motor with 90-degree steps. So these are the stators providing virtually two phases as such, right? One stator providing me this pair of poles, and the second stator providing me second pair of poles. Now these are at 90 degrees with each other, right? This north-south and this north-south. These are at 90-degree position with each other, and they provide me a step of 90-degree each, right? And the sketches A, B, C, and D show the positions of the magnet rotor as the coils are energized in different directions, right? Right. Now, once these phases are energized, now this rotor will start rotating, right? This is the horizontal position, and then as the stator poles are energized, what is happening? Now this rotor has rotated by 90 degrees. Right? This south pole of the rotor has come here, right? Because of the energization of these two phases of the stator windings. Next, I have the next 90-degree positional change, right? And finally, another 90-degree positional change. So this is done in a phased manner, right? The motor has a stator with 4 poles. Each pole is wound with a field winding. 1, 2, 3, 4 poles. Each pole is wound with a field winding. The coils on opposite pairs of poles being in series. Current is supplied from a DC source to the windings through switches. The rotor is a permanent magnet. Thus, when a pair of stator poles has a current switch to it, the rotor will move to line up with it to the 45-degree position. If the current is then switched so that the polarities are reversed, the rotor will move for the 45-degree in order to line up again. Thus, by switching the currents through the coils, the rotor rotates in 45-degree steps. With this type of rotor, step angles are commonly 1.8 degree, 7.5 degree, 15 degree, 30 degree, 34 degree, or 90 degree. So this is the principle of operation of my second type, permanent magnet stepper motor. The third one is hybrid stepper motor. Right. So the features of both variable reluctance type and the second type, that is permanent magnet type motors, are combined. Hybrid stepper motors combine the features of both the variable reluctance and permanent magnet motors, having a permanent magnet encased in iron caps which are cut to have teeth. Right. So these are the end caps, and I have a permanent magnet enclosed in iron cap. This is a permanent enclosed in iron caps, which are cut to have teeth. So there are teeth on the end caps. Right? This is the permanent magnet. The rotor sets itself in the minimum reluctance position in response to air of stator coils being energized. Typical step angles obtained in this hybrid stepper motor are 0.9 degree and 1.8 degree. See, it can provide me the highest resolution, 0.9 degree, close to 1 degree of angular positional change, right? 1 to 1.8 degree angular positional change. So I can have more number of steps while attaining different angular positions. If a motor has n phases on the stator and m teeth on the rotor, the total number of steps per revolution is n into m. Each stepper motor, such stepper motors are extensively used in high accuracy positioning applications. That is, a computer hard disk drives, right? The computer hard disk that we use in our computers, laptops, right? If you open it up, you'll find the reader, the optical reader that is moving across this disk. Excuse me. Hello? हाँ, पाठवा की, no problem. But okay, 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 okay. Okay. Such stepper motors are extensively used in high accuracy positioning applications. For example, in computer hard disk drive. So I have this hard disk and I have the optical reader moving over this hard disk. So I want to have, so while reading the data, the angular positional change that is required is very small. And this hybrid stepper motors, which drive the disk, help me in providing the 0.9 degree of angular positional change. That's why, as you can see, while we open any particular file in a computer, it does not so happen that the desired file is not open, right? So the positional accuracy while reading the data is so important in this hard disk drive. So the hybrid stepper motors provide me that accuracy and precision. There are few advantages and certain limitations of stepper motors. Let us see first of all the advantages of stepper motors. It is a low cost device. It is rugged in its construction. It is simple in its construction. It has low maintenance. It is less likely to stall or slip. No chance of any slip. Will work in any environment and excellent start, stop response and reversing responses, right? So these are the few advantages of stepper motors. There are few limitations of stepper motors as well. They have very low torque capacity compared to DC motors. If I want to move any load, higher load, stepper motors are not preferred. In such higher load applications, I need to go in for DC motors. It has got limited speed range, right? During overloading, the synchronization will be broken, right? So the stepper motors have this disadvantage. Vibration and noise occur when running at high speed, right? Vibration and noise occur when running at high speed. So this is also one of the limitations of my stepper motor. So relatively, I have got more advantages compared to limitations. So all for many of the mechatronic applications will find use of stepper motors extensively. I will see some of the servo motors after stepper motors. Now the word servo means position or position control motors. Now these servo motors are used in control engineering applications a lot. Let us take the case of a turbine, let us say, and the turbine. Let us take a hydraulic case of hydraulic turbines. Being mechanical engineers, we are familiar with hydraulic turbines. And let us say I'm using a Francis turbine, and as you remember, Francis turbine has got radial entry and axial outlet, right? So it is a reaction type of a turbine. Now in this reaction type of a turbine, in turbines, hydraulic turbines, as you know, we have a runners like rotor. I have a runner, and I have the vanes on the runner, and then I have the control ring having direction vanes. Right? The name itself, reaction turbine, means the water jet or the kinetic energy of the water that is stored, that is supplied to the turbine through my penstocks. Now it has to create higher kinetic energy. Now that creation of higher kinetic energy is obtained through the vanes on the reaction ring which are located on the periphery of the turbine rotor, right? So those vanes, when the angles of the stationary vanes or the outer ring, reaction ring, are changed, the kinetic energy inside the jet of water, it also changes, right? So thereafter, so that I can vary the power output obtained from this hydraulic turbine, because according to the change in the kinetic energy of the supply jet, the runner will be generating that much power, right? If I am providing lesser kinetic energy and lesser pressure energy for that matter, I'll be having lower power output from the runner of a turbine, right? So while changing the position of angular position of the vanes which are there on the reaction ring of the Francis turbine, I want to have better control, angular position control of this reaction ring, and that is done through such servo motors, right? The servo motors can provide me the required angular position change, and this you can see in many of the uh, hydraulic power stations like Koyna Dam, if you go, or any of the power generation stations where you have a hydraulic turbine and I want to vary the power output from the turbine, you'll find usage of such servo motor. So servo motors essentially are the position control motors, right? Servo motors are special electromechanical devices that produce precise degrees of rotation. A servo motor is a DC or AC or brushless DC motor combined with a position sensing device. Servo motors are also called control motors as they are involved in controlling a mechanical system. As I told you, mechanical position, mechanical angular position is controlled, and that's why they are also called as control motors. The servo motors are used in a closed loop servo system. As you can see, we'll be studying this closed loop control system in the unit number 5 and 6. You have a comparing device or error detector. I have the set speed or set angular position of the servo motor, set position, and this feedback loop or the sensor transducer, angular position sensor transducer, provide me the actual present position of the servo motor output shaft. Suppose I want to have a 30-degree angular position of a servo motor, and presently it is at 15-degree angular position. This is 15-degree angular position will be sensed by my sensor transducer, will be sent to the comparator or the error detector. My angular position requirement is 30-degree position, and presently it is at 30-degree position, 15-degree position. So the error of 15 plus 15-degree angular position is there. It will be appropriately converted into equivalent electrical signal, right? And that electrical signal is amplified, and then it will be fed to the field winding or armature winding of a given servo motor if it is a DC motor, and the corrective new angular position is obtained by rotation of the servo motor, right? And to that output shaft, as I told you, the load, the case that we discussed, it was a Francis reaction turbine. We can take up one more example wherein you must have heard about radars used in aircrafts or military applications where the radars are constantly moving throughout the 360-degree position. They are constantly moving, and their job is those are facing skywards, and their job is to track the aircrafts or missiles in the space, right? So accordingly, this radar disk, its angular position is to be changed for tracking of enemy aircraft, let us say. And that data is given to the computer of a surveillance, military surveillance system. And accordingly, that data will be used for taking the invasive military action, retaliatory military action as such. Right. So this is my angular positioning disk, and that is driven by such a servo motor. So that will also do the precise positioning of my radar disk. right? So that is one more application of my servo mechanism or servo motor. Working, we already seen this. Servo motors provide accurate speed, torque, and have ability of direction control. What are the advantages and limitations of this servo motors? Advantages: servo motors provide high intermittent torque, high torque to inertia ratio, and high speeds. They work well for velocity control. These servo motors are available in all sizes. They are quiet in operation. Smooth, they provide smoother rotation at lower speed. Limitations are there. These are more expensive than stepper motors. They require tuning of control loop parameters. It is not suitable for hazardous environments or in vacuum. Excessive current can result in partial demagnetization of DC type of servo motor. So these are the few limitations. As I told you, for my particular mechatronic application, I need to select proper electrical drive depending on my speed, torque, position requirements, the environment under which my mechatronic device is going to work. Accordingly, I have to select one of the electrical drives out of DC motors, AC motors, stepper motors, or servo.